Fast forward, we drop AA, we drop Thai Rider, we're coming back and forth between New York and Thailand. I did probably like 2 or 3 student films of his, which he had wrote a script called No Sleep Till Brooklyn.
No Sleep Till Brooklyn.
And then 2 weeks before they're gonna open up the cameras, the investor pulls out, and then and so it's like, once again, all the hopes and dreams. It's like you because you're so young, and you're like, yes, this is my fucking big break.
Where can I go to hide? Memories deep inside. Where can I go to hide? Memories deep
The movie that I did, that I completed, I thought that like after that, like you're young, you're naive, you think you're like, oh shit, I made it, and all this shit is coming.
What did DiCaprio's call that?
And then once I did the Adidas ad, I remember it was June 6th. June 6th, I do the Adidas ad, and after that, the phone stopped ringing. Stopped ringing.
Like America went to independent country, huh?
Yeah, it was just like stopped ringing. Like there was no castings, there was no nothing. There was I don't know what.
You didn't see no crowd coming. You just started.
Yeah, it just like, and then I was down. I was working in the restaurants and shit. And then during that time, I was like, you know what, fuck it. Then I'll just holler at Con, see what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we would hang out anyway on the weekend, and then we'd be in the studio sometimes, and I was writing predominantly in English at that time. And he was just like, yo, wait, they're not gonna understand me. We gotta do it like try to write in Thai. Try to write in like whatever. I was like, I can't write Thai, but karaoke, spell it out.
Yeah.
So that's when I started focusing on trying to better myself as a rapper and trying to write more in Thai. And then we were doing the AA compilation, and that's when it was like I was focused on the music because the acting wasn't doing too well. Fast forward, we drop AA, we drop Thai Rider, we're coming back and forth between New York and Thailand, you know, where it's like THAITANIUM was like a mystique because there was no internet at the time. There's very, internet was just coming, but it was like, yo, who the fuck are these guys? They like come and they fuck up the town and then they leave. And then they're like, where are they? And then they come back and they got like the freshest gear.
You get that from New York and Thailand, both sides. Okay,
And the New York hustle is, everyday life, fucking working and trying to, have the job, have the career, try to attempt to go to school. For the longest. And then by that time I had started, like, there was another Thai film student that was at the New York Film Academy that I linked up with, that he did our first ever THAITANIUM music video, Thai Motherfucker. Thai Motherfucker.
Okay.
And he put me into like his student films.
Okay.
So I did probably like 2 or 3 student films of his, and then he had got a deal to do this feature, which he had wrote a script called No Sleep Till Brooklyn.
No Sleep Till Brooklyn.
So I was like, yo, that's such a like, if this movie gets made, I might be on my way. So then, so everything looked fucking official. We had an office down in Soho. I was in an office right next to where I worked too. So it was like kind of ill where I was like at the restaurant. I was like, you know what, I'm going to my office.
I'm getting out of here.
And this was the first time. Then they put me in acting classes. They actually the production paid for my acting classes for 6 months.
Okay, wow.
So we're doing like table reads every day. I'm in the office. So it's like, yo, I'm like, they're talking, they're fucking mapping out the plan. They're doing location scouting. They're in talks with, like, I believe at the time was Jake Gyllenhaal before he blew up. Right? And then 2 weeks before they're gonna open up the cameras, the investor pulls out, and then and so it's like, once again, all the hopes and dreams. It's like you
yeah,
because
yeah,
you're so
yeah,
young and you're
yeah,
like,
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
this is my
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
big break. And everything was so real.
Yeah,
They got me in
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
acting class.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
got me
yeah,
in a
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
Soho
yeah,
office.
yeah, yeah,
I could
yeah.
smoke weed in the fucking, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just
somehow it was just in the still mist future
yeah,
haze,
it was gone,
Yeah.
gone with the wind.
yeah, purple haze.
And then it was just like, maybe this fucking acting shit is not for me. Maybe it's like, I don't know, because, and then I ended up doing like a short film with another, his name was Michael, but he put me in a short film called Spit, which Eric Roberts was the lead.
Okay.
And I remember what he told me, like, he was cool, he was not cool with me, we kicked it, but he was just like, yo, if you don't learn how to speak Spanish, you ain't never gonna get a part. And that kind of stuck with me, and then I was kind of like, damn, man, maybe it's not for me, because the roles at that time, I wasn't Asian enough. It's like I wasn't like, because the typical whatever Hollywood thought of Asia was like, you're not Chinese.
Yeah.
Like, no, motherfucker, I'm not Chinese, but I'm like, so you're not Asian.
It's difficult. I totally see you, because it's ethnicity background that they really value to make the reality to the show. So they don't cast the Chinese to do a Korean. They don't cast, you know what I'm saying? So being that you caught up in that thing where you was, great, having no identity helped you out to get there, but once you get there, you need something. And what's interesting me is what Khan has told you. You gotta write it in Thai. He showed you the niche market that you could be very strong at to compete against all the competitors that's in the industry. So you was always on a creative tip. You was always wanting to involve creative, and then film, rapping. Okay. I see it.
So it was like, you know what? We're gonna do this THAITANIUM thing. And then like, so, THAITANIUM was gaining traction. We dropped AA and we were selling that shit out of the trunks everything that we learned, like New York was the blueprint, and we took everything from New York to Thailand. Let's open up the trunk and sell our own CDs. Let's press our own CDs. Let's visit the mom and pop shop. So the blueprint was New York hip hop. We would drop our first album, Thai Rider. And then we took a 2-year hiatus because of, we were just in America, 9/11 had happened, and we were working on our double album, which was Resisting Against the System. Then when we came back in like 2004 for it, that was Yak Lai. Then that really hit hard, and then we had had a distro deal with Sony, and it kind of like, it was bubbling. It was bubbling.
Again.
It was bubbling like in Thailand.
But you was feeling the energy.
It was really bubbling in Thailand, but we weren't making any profit off it. So anything that we made, we just put it back into what we were doing, at least for travel, for rent, for whatever, right?
Whatever,
And then all while, my dad, the old head, was like, yo, what the fuck? Like, I brought you to, give you an opportunity to be in this country, and you're gonna go back to Thailand to be a fucking rapper? Like, what is that?
Hello.
And it's like, you're not going to school. Like, in that whole time where I was supposed to be, like, I was making music. I wasn't going to school, so I was, at least for 3 semesters, I was, like, taking money where it was like, I'm not going to school, but I got the money to go do other shit while I'm working. So he's like, you fucking lying to me about going to school. You fucking wasting money. Like, what are you doing? You're about to be like 24, 25
money,
now.
Time and life you wasting from the old
Like,
school
what the fuck? And like, when are you gonna ever be big? And like, how is this ever gonna work? You're a fucking rapper in Thailand? Do they even fucking listen to rap in Thailand? And then he said the most, the words was like, yo, I'm not proud that you my son. And that kind of like, well, because I was still like, you know what, I'm gonna show you, it doesn't happen overnight. So the pressure was on where we were in the beginning of Thailand's Most Wanted, that was the album that we said this is probably our last. Because I'm approaching 25, kind of they're a little older than me, 20, they're
So
29,
sure,
30.
Yeah.
Like, are we gonna really chase this fucking hip hop thing? We love it, you know, but are we gonna chase it, keep chasing it? I might have to grow up soon.
Yeah.
So we bring that back to Thailand.
Yeah.
And it just fucking blows out of the water. It goes, like now it's the whole region knows, the whole other countries know about THAITANIUM. I think we toured off of that album for like 3 years.
Yeah.
Up and all the way up into 2009. And so now it was a different type of, like we had been officially probably in Thailand from 2006 to 2009. Off of that same album.
Okay.
And now we're like, we still had the apartment in New York, the studio in New York. We're still paying for it.
Yeah, that's what's
And
up.
then it's like, we had never recorded any music in Thailand, except for like, you know, verses here and there. All the projects, THAITANIUM projects have been made in New York. So it's kind of like, all right, well, here's the transition. We're gonna go back to New York and live, and like, are we gonna waste this opportunity? I met my wife, I opened up the barber shop, I fucking bought a crib by then, so it was like, all right, let's make the move permanently to Thailand.
Okay, focus.
We gave up everything
in New York,
in New York, and then by the time like, by like 2008, 2009, we had phone deals, we had fucking commercials everywhere, and like me and my dad had like a falling out for a couple of years until he came back and he saw like the businesses, the
girls over there, everything.
You know, and then like what really sold it for him was when I came out in like 2009, THAITANIUM had the song with At Carabao.
Okay.
By Jesus Carfa, the folk singer. And he was like, I remember the words, he was like, wow, like, I'm sorry, like, I didn't believe in you. You fucking made a song with somebody that I grew up listening to. And
you cannot prove any better to say the word. You cannot do any better action to pull the word that your father gave it to you a while ago.
Yeah. The what?
No, the father gave you the word, right?
Yeah,
I'm not proud of your son.
Yeah.
What kind of, it's not even a revenge, it's making your word up to it, you know?
Yeah.
Whoa.
So, you know, and then he saw, and I remember giving him my phone, and it was like, it was a phone box with our faces on it, and he used it, and he like had the song in like as a ringtone. And he passed away like a year, like maybe like 6 months after, you know, after coming back to visit and stuff.
But he still had to get to see it.
But he got to see it.
All the hard work that he had put for his work. All this is time in the life to bring the better future for his gene and DNA. He get to see it.
So he got to see it. And
he got to see it. That's a blessing, yo. Yeah. Whoa. So I remember those times that, you know, like you had a Asian hip hop festival over here in Thailand.
That was 2008.
2008.
That was 2008.
That's when I started realizing what you guys were doing. Holy shit, Thailand looks different. You know, back in the days, I used to come here with Joey Boy. Joey Boy has this thing, you know, with his pop, you know, Thai music background and hip hop oriented. But he's not really New York, you know, just only hip hop kids, you know. And being that said, I see a special like New York influence, like you hear the hip hop background. You hear the music, and behind it, the background, you hear hip hop. And that's Thai. I'm like, yo, you know? And then I meet, you know, along with the people, I meet Khan, everybody, and you guys were booking Snoop Dogg and Nas.
Yeah.
The king of both coasts, you know? And I'm like, yo, these motherfuckers know what they are doing, and they know what time it is, you know?
Absolutely.
Yes,
so,
yes.
Yeah, it was a great, you know, feeling to connect. We had the opportunity to bring together all those neighboring countries that had, you know, in their own respected, you know, communities of hip hop was growing and booming. And for us to all be on stage and then to have Nas headlining, it was like, you know, it was fucking epic.
It's a blessing, right?
Yeah.
Yo, the Khan, you know, he pulled a master move, you know, like, yo, he told me the behind the stories, and I'm like, yo, bro, that's really, really, you know, blessing. And beautiful thing is, you guys trying to hook THAITANIUM up. By trying to hook yourself up, you ended up showing the road the followers to next generation to come. That's why I wanted to hear this story and share this story to all my Japanese and Asian youth and beyond, because you know it's not where you come from, it's where you're at. And you really made it, you know, believe in it, like, you know, made it happen. And so now, all right, so all this stuff growing up, you know, you're feeling that, you know, you bring in hip hop, not only the street hip hop, but celebrity creativity, where, you know, street kids gets more props than normal rich pop, you know what I'm saying? You bring in the whole thing. And now, so you have established your THAITANIUM, and then you start going your solo album. And you, like you said, never say cuts. When I'm in Thailand, that's the only barber I go to. And you know what? At the Ceylon, there was this good kid. He was a young kid, but he was really great with the, you know, I was like, holy shit, you know? And that kid, amazing. But you're giving out so much opportunity to kids to feel the hip hop in the environment, the music, everything, you know? And of course, your wife is doing a lot of business along with it. And you have shown what rapper can do or should do to make Brighton to the generation to come. You've actually done fucking A to Z pretty much, you know? And what do you see? What do you see now? Now that A to Z, what do you see?
What do I see now?
Yeah.
I see that when I first came to Thailand, right? Like I come from, you know, my parents weren't rich.
Yeah.
They're working class.
Yeah.
You know, and whatever I needed, whatever I wanted, I had to work for it.
Yeah.
So I worked from like, you know, when I was 8 years old, I was selling stationery, I was selling candy bars, I was selling whatever I could sell to get my little, you know, sneakers or whatever the fuck I wanted. So when the legal age of working at 15, I got a job. One thing I noticed when I first came to Thailand at that time, maybe like 96, 90, it was looked down upon for like a kid to go out and get a part-time job. They would just be getting money from their parents. Unless you like had no other choice, and then that oh, I'm not gonna work. Like, you know what I mean? From what I see now, because of hip hop, I see photographers, I see videographers, I see editors, I see dancers, I see other MCs, I see DJs, I see so many job opportunities for the young generation to do something because of hip hop and because of what we started, you know, and by being ourselves. And, you know, like I've seen so many and I love it. It's like, you know, it's like a dad seeing like, you know, their son growing up taking a toy and then fucking doing better with the toy than the dad. You know what I mean?
No. That's what every dad wants. Every dad wants to be,
I see everybody there's so many opportunities where the ecosystem is fruitful. You know, people are making a living off of, you know, not just, they have an alternative. You know what I mean?
It's really crazy, you know, like your life is just transcending over international world. And as a character of Asia in the international field, we've all experienced the transition, you know, and then you came out of there proud, you know? And it's so blessing to see somebody actually, you know, like you're sharing the story from Thailand. I'm sharing the story from Japan. There's many people from all over the world, from wherever they origin, but we share this culture called hip hop. So it makes us all one and create the industry, like you said, you know, giving the job opportunity for new generation to come instead of, you know, them scrapping for nothing, you know?
You know, so people are making merch now, people are, like, you know, everything is like, there's an outlet, you know, for kids to release, you know, whatever, you know, they want.
Very true. Like you said, you know, when the THAITANIUM was making the name, there was no internet, so you have to see the street creativity, words of mouth, the buzz, and then you see something, you know. So now it's all different, you know. So now you have made a very unique way, and then you have a very original story. What would you share, like for the, you know, young generation that now the hip hop, because we have seen hip hop A to Z, like, you know, grown transition of it, but now it's the whole surface. So now it's a whole different game that new generation would face with online, especially. is changing us drastically. You know?
I feel like, that the new generation should, feel like they're good enough. You know what I mean? Like, don't let this social media shit get to your head, or like, because at the same time, it's like a facade. It's what do what makes you happy at your own pace.
Yeah.
Don't my story could motivate you, but your story could be a little different. And one thing, everybody wants to be something in the beginning. I wanted to be fucking Michael Jordan. It's not happening. Like, or I wanted to be this. But it's good to want to be something, which then will ultimately lead you to be yourself. All the things are like,
all the experience you put in and out.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we are all blessed to have our own life.
Yeah.
Meaning we have our own canvas. So instead of looking at someone's, I know there's gonna be many good artists, many better artists than we are or you are or whoever. But you gotta focus your own.
Your own canvas. It's like that. It's that's how I honestly look at life, and that's how I honestly look at Thailand. Or whatever I'm doing as a blank canvas. You get to draw and you get to create your own world. You know what I mean? And just keep going. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you gotta draw on 2-3 canvases to get where you need to go. You know? And everybody has their their schedule, and I feel like one thing, I don't know, it's like cliche, and I always say this, it's like, if you keep doing something and you're not, it's like you're putting out good energy, because karma is real. So if you're putting out good energy and you're doing something that's positive and you keep working at it, one day it's going to work out for you in one way or another. You know what I mean? It's like
a gravity, the karma.
It's like you're gonna be fucking great at doing whatever the fuck you're doing because you've been practicing for so long. And then, opportunity, luck, it'll work out.
You know, what you're saying, energy, the vibes, the music, you cannot see it in the eyes, but you gotta believe in it. You gotta believe in it,
Yeah, like, from my dad, I believed in myself. If I would have been like, fuck, my dad is like, I was sad that he wasn't like, what he said, but I was like, yo, you know what? It gave me more motivation to fucking show you.
Sometimes the crucial word from the most closest people will only motivate you sometimes, and that's sometimes the truth,
Use it as fuel, so that's where, there's like, when I look back at shit, there's a lot of like 360 moments,
You were completely aware of it. Wow, this is so beautiful, Hey, so now, all this Thailand, and not only the Thailand, no, because you're learning Def Jam Thailand, and along with the Flizzo, Def Jam Malaysia.
No more. I mean, I was when I was there from the initiation, the beginning of Def Jam Thailand, and it became Def Jam Southeast Asia, and then But I was there for like 2 years, and then I was developing, helping signing. Now I've left maybe like 2 years now.
Okay, so what direction are you going to yourself?
I'm just like, right now, I'm like full-time dad, part-time musician, / full-time business.
Life lover,
You know what I mean? I still make music. I still find a lot of joy and happiness in making music, and because I like production and I like acting, that's why I do a lot of the music that I do, so I can work on the production side of it. But I don't see myself stopping. I feel like I love to create.
Yeah, so never say cuts and all this business, right? And also I see this iconic character. Never say cuts boy, like with the face and shit, with the blade,
Yeah, That Choi. That's his name.
What is his name?
That Choi.
Okay. That Choi. Did you make that character?
Yeah, me and my team.
Oh.
Like I'm very low tech, like computer wise, but I know what I want. I know I can. I'm more of like I'll tell you that, and you do it right there. Like I'm that person.
Okay, gotcha,
like, yeah.
gotcha. No, because we got, because the reason that I'm bringing this up is now all the future, like the what used to be the mixtape became a SoundCloud, everything, shifted to the online, right? And so now we've seen the drastic change, the evolution of the technology, but I think next step is to go to cyber, like with the avatar character, with everybody, with the characters and stuff like that, to communicate with the cyber division of the world.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm working with my partners to see the possibility of the art, NFT, digital, the blockchain, and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So down the line, I really want to talk to you about creating some art piece or some project together to, bring in what we have and merge to, make some project or new inflation for the new generation to come, like it was passed to us, Yeah.
So I'm very still very new to that to the web space.
Yeah.
And I was trying to, when it was really booming 2 years ago, I also had a friend that was really into NFTs and just trying to explain the space.
Yeah.
And I think after that initial boom, I guess my interest was more like, oh shit, I don't really understand that space too well, but I understand it more now.
Yeah.
But I was more focused on kind of real life things, old school in that sense.
Yeah.
But with everything, I understand we can't be dinosaurs. We gotta be accepting of where the future is going.
Yeah.
So we can understand.
Yeah. It's very interesting because, what we've always wanted, the international culture that has no boundary, and cyber world could, really present us that.
Yeah.
And like you said, you have the image to see what needs to be done. And we got the team that could, bring the technology to share what's going on, to not necessarily have to make something, but to sharing the ideas. Or I think, NFT feels like, as you said, the first boom, there was a boom. But there was a ball and there's a stick. But they didn't have a stadium. So they have just a ball and a stick. That's how I see it. So if we draw the diamonds and if we gave them a glove and if we did give them the umpire, we
it's
can
still
set
very,
the ball.
it takes time. It's still very young.
So now, you have gone through all the stages. Now you're chilling, not rush to just, find the focus, something that worth your time in the focus.
Yeah, I've as you get older and mature, there's not the party ain't the party anymore.
Party
so
ain't the party,
if I don't have to be there, I'm not gonna be there. I'd rather have my time, spend my time with my kids, or focus on, it seems like I do a lot, but I really this past year cut down a lot of fat and focus on, the main things that I should the barber shop. The barber shop. I just dropped a vitamin C with wifey. To kind of support the lifestyle that I'm more healthy and looking after it.
It's not just working for a corporate, using your creativity, sharing with the family, and then maximize it. It's really, really beautiful.
And then the kids, and then music, music when at my own pace. It's not being with the label was cool and learning. I've been in and out of label situations. I've been independent most of them. I feel me personally, I'm just more of an independent type and like to be my own. On my own time.
It's very important, It's not nothing to be forced on. It's not something that it's something that you get tuned into, It's beautiful. Wow, what a great story that he have shared with us all this time, And now we talk about then, now, and future. So future, right now, I used to run the label called Future Shock.
OGs in the game, bro.
So, I'm trying to organize, rebrand it. See, to me, label is not to, rip Yankees off or to make money off.
So that's why I kind of left Def Jam. In a way, okay, I get it, you signed, but I'll help anybody, and I've helped a lot.
I can see
I help
you.
a lot.
Yeah,
It's just I don't want to help them through the corporate side because it's like the corporate side is always thinking about like what's you know what I mean. So I don't want to do that. But
And then especially when you are young, you are hyped as a young kid many times.
Yeah,
and you don't want to give the hype. You know, for the young kids that
Absolutely,
they see
because
way, be like, I made it. You know, you don't want to.
it's not that because it's a long process. It's a long way. You know, so I rather give them, drop them gems. Help in other ways where it's not like the business I'll help recommend and help consult. But I don't want to do the business with you or take any business away from you unless it's like
it's all on you. Like I just wish the best on you type. That's beautiful. That's how I feel to the young artists too. So like being the label, it's not what it used to be, but it is still there. The third party or fourth party that appreciate as an organization knowing exactly what's going on with the hip hop and what to direct the young kids to as an organization. So I'm not necessarily looking for label to record a song to release it. Okay, fuck you, pay me. It ain't like that. I just try to want to see how there's technology is evolving every day. So I want to see the opportunity, what we can create with the technology, what wasn't there, what's available to us now, so we can bring better future. So along the way, this is why I wanted to share your story from the past. I really wanted to learn it, come in the background, and then here to the future. So sharing it, this great, beautiful culture, the hip hop, put us together.
It connected us, from all walks of life, and it's something that's very beautiful that has been a part of my life.
Yes.
For the past 30 years of my life have or more than that. So
for real, man. So for down the line, 30 years from now, 50 years from now, like our grandson generation, without knowing our own grandfather meeting each other, linking up in the name of hip hop, we never know, So this is the most beautiful culture that we need to pass down, like a torch,
Of course.
Yeah, like the Snoop passed it to Kendrick, now Kendrick passing it to, many more to come, Wow. ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございます。ขอบคุณมากครับ
Thank you very much. Western style, Thai style, Japanese style. ありがとう。
ありがとう。ขอบคุณครับ
Yes.